Now you're hurling. Lorna Porca with Tomás McCarthy on WLR.
So ahead of round 2 of the County Senior Hurling Championship, delighted to welcome back into our Dungarvan studios Lismore player and selector and of course former hurler of the year, that's Dan Shanahan. And Dan, you were in here 4 months ago when all this COVID crisis began. We didn't think it would last so long. What has it been like to get back out in the training field over the last 4 weeks with Lismore?
Yeah, Tomás, it's been fantastic, to be honest with you. Numbers have increased because lads have done nothing over the COVID, and to get to the field, I think it was very important to get the lads back training in all clubs, Tomás, for the mental health, just to get to the field, meet different people, do a half an hour's training session at the start when you were left back, and obviously the rules changed as the months went on, you could do as much as you want, but to just get back to the field, Tomás, meeting lads and training, it was fantastic, to be honest with you. There was numbers are up in training, whereas this time of the year probably down, lads are caught with the county, you'd be struggling to get games, lads would be on holidays, you'd be planning different, lads are going away on holidays, as I said, but again, everyone knew then when this came in that it was going to be 3 or 4 or 5 weeks to knuckle down and see if you get to the knockout stages of the Waterford Senior Hurling Championship, and it's been great, Tomás. It's been great to be up on the field there. The lads are enjoying it, and anytime you can get to the field, Tomás, there's great enjoyment. Yeah,
I think a lot of the clubs are in the same boat and they're reporting very strong numbers down at train, and by the sounds of it, it's been the same in Lismore.
Yeah, it has, Tomás. I couldn't. We're caught with numbers like every club, Tomás, bar 1 or 2 maybe. But again, anyone we've asked to come to the field have come to the field. Anyone missing is given a genuine excuse, whether through work or shift work or maybe a night away with ourselves or whatever it is. But the numbers have been fantastic. The attitude has been fantastic. The effort has been great. 1 or 2 challenge games haven't gone our way, but that's the way it is. I never really look much into challenge games, Tomás. If I'm being honest with you anyway, you can be easily led astray. Going well in challenge games, you come to championship, you get beaten, so it's a different intensity altogether. But again, the lads have really enjoyed it. They've took like duck to water, and they've enjoyed it. And look, you never know, there's, as I said, apart from Ballygunner, I think everyone else can contest with each other in all the games.
And with all the COVID-19 measures in place, Dan, what's been the strangest part of going back to training these past few weeks?
I think, Tomás, not talking out together has been key. Shouting after the game, that kind of stuff. You might take things for granted. Even when you're going to a challenge game, Tomás, that you had to be talked out in your car. You can only be there half an hour before the throw and then get on with the game, get straight into your car and go home. So there's been things like that. Obviously, washing your hands, that stuff before training and after training, make sure the balls are all cleaned up and stuff like that. There's different things, and the boys in the club have been fantastic, and every club has been, I've no doubt about it. They got the rules from the GA to cover and do what they had to do, and every club, and there's more no different, they have all the protocols done, Tomás, in there, even for the underage that they have to be gone a half an hour before any adult goes onto the field after, and they've worked brilliantly up there, and I'm sure the rest of the clubs are doing the same thing. I can only speak for Lismore, but again, they've done everything to a tee up there, and it's just a pity lads after a wet night like last night, they can't have a shower and stuff like that, but again, look, that's the way it is. So it is, you get into the car and just go home as quick as you can and have the shower.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult part, even for players last weekend, looking at even the likes of Ballygunner last Friday night. They had to go back down the road without having a shower. I suppose that's some of the things that we've to put up with now, Dan, in this new normal.
Definitely, Tomás. I suppose to drinking about a shower, Tomás, you might laugh at this. The recovery is just the warm water to get the muscles relaxed and stuff like that. I'm sure Ballygunner maybe had plans made to do maybe something down at home and their own pitch, maybe stretch or something like that. But again, before matches, Tomás, if you're there too early, do you know what I mean? It can upset you if you're not there in time. Then so it's different. I see De La Salle had a good idea last week, but they had a little tent up there and chairs and water and little stations set up like a small dressing room, and it looked well for them. And
were you impressed by that, Dan?
I was a bit, Tomás. That's the way the city clubs are. I suppose that's the way De La Salle are. And I suppose they bought it to another level. As in they were prepared, Tomás. They were prepared, and you can't use the dressing room, but you have to have somebody unity there that you have a chat with your players, and the way they can go to there to get their water bottles, their own water bottles, and the water break is good, I suppose, Tomás, in a way, but it kind of upsets the momentum if you're playing well and next minute you're stopped after 15 minutes. It upsets the team that's going well. But again, look, these are the rules that are brought in, and you have to go by them.
You're part of the backroom team with Lismore, Dan, as well as playing, or with Barney Prendergast, Brendan Landers and Seamus Prendergast. Have you been keeping in touch with the players during the lockdown to keep their spirits up, I suppose?
Oh, you would have had, Tomas, yeah. We would have given the lads a programme through Páirce Prendergast to be honest, just to keep tipping away themselves individually, obviously, Tomas, whether it was at home or whatever they had to do, which is maybe their own run or hill run or something like that. They would have been tipping away, Tomas. Now, some lads are different, Tomas. One or two lads maybe wouldn't have worked through the COVID, and it's how you get back into it again. You're going from scratch when you come back. But no, I have to say, all lads did what they had to do. They came back in good shape, Tomas. They weren't overweight, or they were just eager to get back onto the field and do a bit of hurling, to be honest with you. Whether it was doing one week or one or two nights a week, it clears the head too, Tomas. Go away for a walk, go away for a run yourself, and if there's only half an hour run up a hill, up and down a hill, whatever it is, but it's just to clear the head and keep the fitness levels up is very important, because, as you know, it comes very quick. And if you don't win your 2 games, you're gone. Or 1 of your 2 games, you're gone out of the Waterford Senior Hurling Championship. And that could be done in 2 weeks.
I was up in Ballysaggart there last week talking to Kieran Bennett. He said that he took up golfing during the lockdown, along with his brothers up in Lismore Golf Club, giving some extra members. Did you take up any hobbies like that, Dan, during the COVID-19 break?
I didn't, Tomas, to be honest with you. I think our buddy Chicken has the golf clubs at home, so that's where they are. But again, no, the lads, I think it's been, even West Waterford and Lismore have really, membership has gone up. Even the tennis club in Dungarvan, I heard his membership gone up because of just to get out. There was the first 2 sports back were golf and tennis, I suppose, and some lads took it up to kill the time. No, I had a shed of work, Tomas, to be honest with you. I got an old punching bag, and there was a few resistant band, and I was able to work away there, and just as I said, anytime I finish work, just go in there for an hour, most evenings, just to keep me ticking away, rather than go home and go back and do something, and look, for me, it's mentality, Tomas, to having something done is better than going home and doing nothing, and whatever, however small it is.
And in your own line of work, Dan, I was reading during the lockdown, you would have been interacting with a lot of elderly people with your job with Comer Oil. What did you notice during the lockdown? Was it difficult not being able to engage the people day to day? It
was, Tomas, to be honest with you. In my job, Tomas, sometimes I have to go through houses, and elderly people would have to go out of the house while I was going through it, and that's the way it is, and it is tricky when you can't say hello to a person or talk to a customer that has the respect to get the call off you and give you the order to get the oil, and it is tricky. But again, Tomas, it is what it is. We were very busy during the COVID, so we were extremely busy. I suppose one of the few people that were busy through it was us, because the price came down. So it did, and when the price came down, people take advantage of it, Tomas, and it kept me going daily, and us in Comer Oil daily, because we were very busy during COVID. Thank God.
That's good to hear, and I'm sure there's plenty of chat flying with Paddy Joe Ryan this week ahead of the match against Foreman Water on Saturday. Dan, it's their first match of the year, 3:00. Is it an advantage that Foreman have a game under their belt and also win under their belt last weekend against Dungarvan?
Yeah, Tomas, I suppose. You can look at it both ways. I suppose if they win the game, they'll say that the momentum took, and if they lose the game, they'll say they were tired from the game. So it's for me, it is an advantage, because I happened to see the game. Don't ask me how, but I did see it. And they looked very, very good, Tomas. So they did. They looked hungry. They looked up for the game. They have 2 or 3 young fellas they didn't have last year, Tomas. And they really hurled well. Now, so did Dungarvan, to their credit. They didn't die as Dungarvan don't die anyway. But again, just on the day, I thought Foreman Water just outsmarted them in one or two places, especially on the line as well. But again, Tomas, I'm not worried about Foreman Oil or Dungarvan with respect to any other club. I'm just worried about Lismore and how they perform next Saturday evening.
But I suppose you couldn't fail to notice Jamie Barron. He was really back to his brilliant best there on Sunday night, and 6 points in play, 3 in each half, and he was probably the difference between the two sides in the end. He
was, Tomas. He got 6 points from play, and young Darrell Lyons was on him, who had an okay game too, to be honest with you. And that's the key for us. And when you watch the game, and do you put a man marker on him, or do you put a hurler on him to see, can you stop Jamie from playing well, from getting these 6 points? Let's be honest, he's going to get 2, 3, 4 points a game anyway. The way he's playing at the moment, he's back to full fitness. His brother, I think Tom and Thomas, have got 9 points between them. That is fair going from 2 lads. But plus Tom would have won 3 or 4 frees in the first half. But again, Foreman Water have more than that, Tomas. I've often said it. to be honest with you, you look at Tomás O'Gorman, he's one of the best man markers, not only in football but in hurling as well. Do you know, you've Tyrone the Gyrie's, Shane Ryan, do you know, Conor Gleeson, who was back to his saucy best the weekend, to be honest with you, and that's what he does brilliantly. And you throw in the two Barnes then. Do you know, so they're an awesome outfit. I've always said it to Moss, they're in the wrong end of the championship the last 2 years, but this year they're getting a good run at it. They have no hurling, they concentrate on hurling and they're getting the rewards. Do you know, but again, as I said to Moss, and John Kiley said one time, worry about your own team, not the opposition, like, you know. So most of our focus, to be honest, is gone in Lismore and how we can perform and stop the boys on Saturday evening.
Would you be disappointed with how last year finished up for Lismore than going out in a quarter final to Mount Sion by 10 points? You seem to be below your best on that occasion. Yeah,
it would have been Tomás. People say we took our eye off the ball. That Mount Sion was a formality for Lismore to beat them. I can assure you we didn't. So we didn't. I think we got one or two things wrong on the line as well, tactically wise, and we admit that, and we stood up. And you know, it's not only the players get things wrong, but management get things wrong. But we were disappointed, Tomás, and let's not forget too, the same day Regan made 3 or 4 great saves. Morris missed the penalty. So we had our opportunities, Tomás, on the day to beat Mount Sion. We didn't take them. They were hungrier. They wanted it more, and that's why they won, Tomás. And look, they went on to Rattle de la Salle too the week after, or whatever, 2 weeks after that too, in the semi-final. And again, we were disappointed, Tomás, because a good opportunity to get to the semi-final. Everyone's target, Tomás, is to reach the knockout stages. Every club's target. Like, when you get to the semi-final, anything can happen. When you get to the semi-final, look again, but to do that, you have to win your group games first, or qualify out of your group, and you have to win your quarter final. Like, you know, we were disappointed, Tomás, but again, you get over the disappointment, Tomás, and to the lads' credit, they come back every year, like every club does, every club player does, and to see and try can get the breakthrough and upset Ballygunner on them big days.
It must be encouraging to see over the last couple of years then young players really come to the fore for Lismore, the likes of, you know, Jack Prendergast, Irla Daly, Oisin O'Gorman. You also have Cormac Daly coming on board this time around. Yeah,
they're great lads, Tomás, to be honest with you, lads you mentioned there, and young Conor Howard has come to. We're lucky, Tomás, we brought 4 young fellas in this year that have come out of the minor, and you know, and for a club to keep going, Tomás, you need these young fellas coming through, and no matter how good or bad they are, like, you know, and they're great lads that you mentioned, so they are, but again, to have the numbers coming through for a small club, like, you know, that they keep pushing and keep the numbers going, because the underage in Lismore isn't too bad, but you need lads coming out of minor to keep the club going, the way them young lads can come up and play senior hurling for their club, like, you know. But it's great to see young lads coming through, Tomás, and they're eager, they love it, they're fearful. You even see it there last night, the 2 or 3 debutants Formal Water had last week, played very well for them, like, you know, and again, like, you know, but again, we're looking, as I said, look at our own lads, we try to use their best abilities that they can bring to it. They're young too, let's not forget that, Tomás, they're young, they're going into big men, let's be honest, Formal Water. They're big, strong lads, like, you know, and they're going to get hit next Saturday evening. But look, we prepared them for that. So we have, and please God, on Saturday, just go up and enjoy it, to be honest with you, Tomás. It's great to have young fellas playing hurling.
And then you're listed as number 21 then on Saturday. You started way back in 1993 with Lismore. What keeps you coming back year after year for the club?
Yeah, Tomás, I just absolutely love being involved. I love my club, I love where I come from. So I do. If I thought I didn't have something to offer, Tomás, I would step back and play away the junior or stuff, or retire, or whatever it is. But I do think I have something to offer. Carrying a slight injury at the moment, so hopefully it'll be right for the week. If it isn't, please God, it'll be right for Dungarvan the week after. But again, look, it goes up to the field. I love training, Tomás. I've always loved training. Clears the head, gets me body right, keeps me in some bit of shape. And look, my bit of experience around the boys, if it's hand catching the ball, hand passing it, bringing other lads into play, that'll do me for more. But I just love going to the field training, Tomás. Doing your training and being involved in as a coach with Brendan Landers, giving my point to the boys, doing the training with them. But I just love going to the field, Tomás. I've always done it. I'll still go junior when I'm 50, because I just going playing and hitting the ball with 2 or 3 lads there, and then going and doing your best and going as fast as you can. Don't get me wrong, Tomás, I'm not able to keep up with the 18-year-olds
right
anymore, to be honest with you. So I'm not, and I'm intelligent enough to know that. But I just enjoy doing my best and being up there around the lads, because they're a great bunch of lads in Lismore, so they are. I'll never forget where I come from.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's great to hear that enthusiasm. Then we saw Eugene Janie O'Brien line out for Ballysaggart at 43 as well. You know, it's remarkable, really. But would you have learned a lot from your time as Waterford selector under Derek McGrath in terms of the training that the players were doing and looking after yourself off the field as well?
I would have, definitely, Tomas. I would have learned a lot myself through my career as well. Do you know that you have to? Do you know, whatever it is, Tomas, you have to go into the gym yourself. You have to be mentally prepared to do the stuff, the hard work away from the field. It's not about going to the field, Tomas, and picking up a hurling training 1 night a week or 2 nights a week or 3 nights a week. It's about going to the Ballally for 20 minutes on the nights you're not meant to be training. And often this year, if we down to Strabley Ballally, Tomas, myself, and did a half an hour there. That kind of stuff. It just keeps your eye in, Tomas. It's different training, like, you know, and plus there's a backwater, because if you miss it too, it won't go away from it, like, you know, so it's easier in Strabley. But again, no, it's just something that I do, Tomas. And if you want to be a top class inter-county hurler at underage or adult level, Tomas, you must be willing to put in that extra bit of effort away from the field, like, you know. And you know, you have to give up certain things. We all know what I'm on about, to be the best, like, you know. And the lads are now. That's what they have to do, because you look at Limerick and every team, how big they are, how strong they are, the way they're able to hurl, and to play at that level, you have to be willing to do everything you can to get your body right. And then again, I was delighted for Janie O'Brien. I played hurling underage with Janie. What a man! What a great man for his club. So, and to see him playing senior hurling last week, look, I was delighted for himself and the Ballysaggart lads. Like, you know, all belonged to me, came from there. You know, I'm a Lismore man myself, but my father would have hurled at Ballysaggart, and I've no doubt everyone was delighted to see him playing senior hurling, like, you know. So
you're going to keep playing then for as long as you possibly can? As
long as my legs keep going, Tomas. They're not going well at the moment, as I said, but look, it's just, as I said, Tomas, I enjoy it. There'll come a time, Tomas, when I know my body isn't able for it. It's nearly there, but again, I'm enjoying it. I see John Milan talked over the juniors there a couple of weeks ago, like, you know, and a person told me there not so long ago, a bit of advice he gave me: play as long as you can, he said, because when you give it up, he says, what will you go at, like, you know. And he'd after 2 hip operations, so at the moment, Tomas, I'm not too bad that way.
Pleasure to talk to you as always, Dan. Thanks a million for dropping in the studio.
Thanks, Tomas, my pleasure. Thank you.